Police have pulled me, my father, and my uncle over.
You got your ID on you too, sir?
I'm a passenger. I'm not required to identify
In the
myself.
state of Florida, you are. If you want to play that game, we can pull you out and I can take you to jail for resisting.
Welcome back to the LackLuster channel. Today's story comes from Andre Rocks. Be sure to head over to his channel and let him know I sent you. On the 2nd of August, Andre was driving with his father and uncle, towing a motorcycle. The trailer carrying the bike was weighed down enough to allow the license plate to come into contact with the ground, bending it upwards and making it unreadable, which prompted Deputy Dunn of the Pasco County Sheriff's Office to initiate a traffic stop.
In Pasco County, we are pulled over towing our motorcycle back home in Pasco County, Florida. Police have pulled me, my father, and my uncle over. He's coming to my door.
How are we doing tonight?
Doing well. How about yourself, sir?
Good. You got your driver's license registration on you, sir?
Yes.
Alright. You got your ID on you too, sir?
I'm a passenger. I'm not required to identify
In the
myself.
state of Florida, you are.
That's national law, 4th Amendment.
In
I'm
the
not
state
required.
of Florida, you are.
Sir, I'm a passenger. I'm not required to
Okay.
identify myself to you.
So, look, if you want to play that game, okay, you can go ahead and get yours out. If you want to play that game, we can pull you out and I can take you to jail for resisting.
Resisting arrest? You're going to
Yes,
arrest
sir.
me for that?
Yes, sir. So, in the state of Florida, you are required to identify yourself, even as a passenger.
Less than 1 minute into the traffic stop, Deputy Dunn has asked for the driver's license and registration and then turns to Andre for his ID. So far, we know that the basis for the stop is valid. No one disputes that Florida law enforcement officials have the authority to pull drivers over who have committed traffic infractions. But there is a huge issue with threatening to arrest Andre for declining the deputy's request for identification. The officer alleges that in the state of Florida, passengers must identify, even if they played no direct part in the offense. But this is false, absent of probable cause for an arrest or reasonable suspicion that the passenger has, is, or is about to commit a crime.
Listen, man, we're not somebody who likes to write tickets. Honestly, we ID you, we tell you about what's going on. We kind of pretty much just get you on your way.
Okay.
But you gotta ID yourself, man.
I'm not required to identify myself to you.
The state of Florida, yes, you are, brother. Listen, my man, you can tell us who he is. We can do it from there.
That's my son.
Okay, what's his name?
Marcus Johnson.
What's that?
Dad,
Come on now. I don't want to go to jail tonight. I don't need this.
Listen, it's as
there's
simple
such
as
thing as the 4th Amendment.
Marcus. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Here's my license,
I
my
appreciate it,
registration, my insurance.
Thank you. Where you guys heading tonight?
I just moved here last week. Westwell.
Sorry to hear that.
Okay. He was here helping me. He found a motorcycle for cheap. It wasn't working, so I put it on a tow dolly that I had. And I live right down the street here. I just moved in.
I got you. So, I'm going to hand this to Deputy Dunn.
Okay.
All I'm going to say is take a minute, talk to your son. Honest to God, it's really going to be fairly easy for you, okay? Deputy Dunn does not write citations. It's not something I do either.
Okay.
We kind of like to tell people about it's kind of like a corrective thing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But when it gets escalated to this, he doesn't want to identify himself. From there, he's interfering with an investigation, things like that. You can be taken to jail for that. Okay? And I don't want to do that. I don't want.
That's
to
fine.
do
Let
that
me give you my attorney's card. Can I get my attorney's card for you? I'm going to give you my attorney's card, and you feel free to give him a call.
I'm not going to call him.
Okay.
I have no need to call him.
I like it.
You in the military?
I'm
Say, were you in
retired.
the military?
How you doing? And I would also like all of your cards and badge numbers.
Sir.
Okay. Sir?
Yes.
So the reason I pulled you over, I didn't get a chance to tell you, your license plate in the back is folded up, so it's concealing part of it.
Okay,
and all your lights are all messed up too, man.
Yeah, that motorcycle kind of crunched everything.
Okay.
And we're just going a few blocks.
Did he ID him?
He was starting to give me a name.
Yeah.
All of your names and badge numbers, please.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Huh? Excuse me, sir. Can you just shut the car off for me, please? Thank you very much. Have we done anything wrong, sir?
No.
Okay.
I'm a passenger, which means I'm not the subject of the investigation. He was operating the motor vehicle, which means that, honestly, legally speaking, I'm free to walk away if I'd like to. So, yeah, I'm sorry, but I know my rights. I am not the subject of the investigation.
It used to be legal for a passenger to walk away from a vehicle during a traffic stop if the passenger had no direct connection to the offense. But in 2017, the Florida Supreme Court ruled on Presley v. Florida and held that law enforcement officers may, as a matter of course, detain the passengers of a vehicle for the reasonable duration of the traffic stop without violating the Fourth Amendment. However, the deputies still have no legal grounds for demanding Andre to identify.
I was not operating a motor vehicle. I am not required to identify myself to you.
That's not true. That's
Yeah.
all I'm going to say.
Okay, well, what can you quote me the law that tells me that I'm supposed to identify myself to you? Because the Fourth Amendment says that I have the right to be secure in my papers and my persons from unlawful.
Here's what I tell you. I think he's talking to a sergeant.
Okay, not a problem. Again, I'm going to ask, can I have your name and badge number?
Yes, sir.
Your name and badge number?
My name? Deputy Peony, 4295.
Thank you. And yours, sir?
He's not. You don't have to worry about him.
Is he an officer of the law?
Nope.
Okay.
Still got your flashes on them?
Yeah.
Battery?
Huh?
Did I run out of battery with the car off?
No.
Okay.
Deputy Dunn turns off his body cam, presumably to speak with a supervisor to determine the legality of the stop. It is turned back on shortly after he speaks to Deputy Ramos, who tells Dunn that they are allowed to run the K9 around the vehicle and that they need to remove the vehicle's occupants.
I agree, so I'm just merely telling you that he's at the office. He said go for it, you have 3 people.
Okay. I'm gonna see if we can get him to do a sniff anyways.
Okay.
So get him out of the car at least.
Yep.
So. Am I doing a sniff?
Yes, sir.
Rears too.
Yeah.
I've got his 10
Just if you want to explain that and see if he gets
Yeah.
out.
have
Okay.
one more available unit. Can you have him
Alright,
find
guys.
the-
I'm going to be conducting a narcotic sniff on the exterior of the vehicle. Alright, but in order to do that, you guys have to step out of the vehicle for me. Alright? I'm not asking you to, I'm telling you to at this point.
What's
Hey,
up?
Ramos, I didn't even notice there's somebody else in the back.
Yeah, there-
I know.
That's my
You got
brother.
his?
Yeah, no, I saw him.
We'll step out of the vehicle.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it.
I've seen a lot of channels recently misinforming their viewers that you do not have to exit a vehicle during a traffic stop. I've also seen plenty of videos where people deny the order to exit without it escalating. While it is cool to see, these situations are anecdotal. In the Supreme Court case of Pennsylvania v. Mims, the court held that asking the occupants to exit the vehicle was a minimal and reasonable intrusion of their freedom. Whether you are the driver or passenger, you must exit upon request. Like it or not, that is the law. Andre was well aware of the ruling and obeyed the command.
I appreciate your cooperation, man. I don't.
They're conducting a narcotic sniff on the exterior of the vehicle.
No, I don't believe you do. Okay.
Put your hands on your back.
Excuse me? Am I under arrest? Am I under arrest? Am I under arrest? Am I under arrest? Am I under arrest?
Andre's video was shut off as he was placed under arrest on a misdemeanor charge for resisting an officer and obstructing without violence. He was freed hours later after posting a $150 bail. Andre fought the charges in criminal court and eventually had the charges dismissed.
I took this case to criminal court. I did not take a deal. I took this case to criminal court, and I won the case in criminal court. Why? Because before I refused to give that police officer my ID, I already knew the law. I already knew that I did not have to give this police officer my identification. So the judge in the criminal court, Judge Joseph Public, already agreed that no, they did not have the right to arrest me.
He is now suing in federal court under 42 U.S. Code 1983, civil action for deprivation of rights. His case recently went through mediation, but Andre is not looking for a settlement.
I went into mediation not because I wanted to make some monetary benefit out of this. I'm not looking to get rich or anything out of this. What I'm looking to do is to ensure that the people are not being falsely arrested, people are not being hurt by cops. So I went into mediation with the desire to have the police officers set up mandatory constitutional training, mandatory racial sensitivity training, and to set up a metrics of consequences for police officers who intentionally and willfully violate people's rights. Let me say that we did not come to a settlement during mediation. In the civil case, they filed several motions to dismiss based on the idea that they felt that it was legal to arrest me. This is what the judge said. Plaintiff alleges a subsection 1983 violation against Deputy Dunn based on his allegedly false arrest. In the motion, Deputy Dunn argues that he is entitled to qualified immunity because there was actual probable cause to arrest the plaintiff, me, for resisting arrest without violence. This argument has already been thoroughly addressed by this court in its prior order in October. As the court explained, Deputy Dunn had a valid basis to require the driver of the vehicle to provide identification and vehicle registration, the driver being my father. But he did not have a valid basis to require the plaintiff as a passenger to provide identification absent reasonable suspicion he had committed, was committing, or was about to commit a criminal offense. Pursuant to existing law on this point, plaintiff had no obligation to talk to or identify himself to Deputy Dunn. Because Deputy Dunn did not have a valid basis to require plaintiff to provide identification, he could not arrest plaintiff based on a failure to provide such identification. This motion to dismiss is denied based on this ground. The judge told you you did not have a reason to arrest me, i.e. false arrest. It is so damaging to their ego to admit that this college dropout, rapper, radio host, black man knew the law better than their police officers. So they continue to argue that it was legal, though all of the facts don't support it.
Let me know what you think of this interaction in the comments. Be sure to head over to Andre Rox's channel for future updates and to see the hour-long arrest video. I will link it below. Don't forget to let him know that I sent you. Thank you for watching. If you have an incident you'd like me to review, email it, submit it on my website, or through Facebook Messenger. All links are down below. That concludes our video for today. Please subscribe and turn on all notifications so you never miss a video. If you're old here, like, share, comment down below what you think of this interaction, and consider a channel membership or merch to further support the channel. If you have an incident you'd like us to review, link it down below or contact us through the social media platforms linked in the description.